أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه والسنة بسنة الدين أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. Welcome to this video about how to steer a dawah conversation, brought by Islamic Learning Foundation, ILF, a project of Islamic Circle of North America, ICNA. As you know, in the previous videos, we have talked about it sequentially in a methodological way. What is dawah, the importance of dawah, the introduction to dawah, the fiqh of dawah, the methodology of dawah. Now the question comes up, when you start giving dawah, there is something called steering the conversation. See, dawah is a dialogue, mukalama, all right? We don't debate, we don't argue with people. It was no use arguing, debating people. There were many Meccans who would argue with the Prophet ﷺ, and he would just inform them and shy away. He would not fight and argue and debate. Debates don't bring any benefit, period. Dialogue, discussion brings a benefit. And dialogue is a two-way communication, not one way. You cannot be talking all the time and shut off your opponent and they don't get to speak. Likewise, vice versa cannot happen. That you are silent, just listening, and the person is talking and bombarding you or bombarding Islam. It has to be a two-way communication. Now, when it comes to a two-way communication, a conversation, a dialogue, there has to be an issue called control, just like a steering wheel. When you're driving a car or a truck or a bus, when you drive, who is on the steering wheel? There are many people who are passengers sitting in the car or the bus or truck, but there's only one person who's steering the wheel. And they are controlling the car or the vehicle or anything towards a direction. In a dawah conversation, there has to be a focus. There has to be a direction. You can't just be talking on and on and on. You talk for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. You spend a whole day talking to somebody and they are like, their mind is like puzzled. They're like, oh, I've been everywhere. I can't understand. I can't put two and two together. That's why steering a dawah conversation is very, very essential. If you remember, we talked about straw. When you start off with straw in the methodology, then you have asked the person and they have shubuhat. If you ask somebody, do you believe in these 6 articles of faith? They say, I believe in 3, I believe in 2 or 4, I don't believe in the other. Then you ask them, okay, what is the reason you're not believing in this one or that one? What is stopping you? What is your shak or shukuk or doubt? What is your apprehension, your reservations? And remember, brothers and sisters in Islam, when they tell you, I don't believe in this thing, I don't believe in that, that is a cue for you to steer the dawah conversation in that direction. You know already that this person believes 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6 things, or 4 out of 6 things. So I need to focus on the other things that they are missing. Let's say, for example, somebody says, I believe in one God, I believe in Tawheed, but I don't believe in all these messengers. I believe in just my prophet, Jesus. I don't believe in Muhammad. But I believe in angels and I believe in life after that. I believe in all the other things. I don't believe in one thing. So now you know that using your straw methodology, you will be steering the conversation towards bringing this person to believe in all the prophets of Allah, including Prophet Muhammad. So therefore, a lot of times what happens in steering a dawah conversation, somebody may ask you a question about hijab, about kufi, or why men wear this, why women wear hijab, why you do this in a certain way, why you don't take interest, why you don't eat pork, why you don't drink, why you don't do that. People may ask a very open-ended question. Why you do this, why you do that. Do not ever just answer the question and stop. Please don't do that, brothers and sisters. This is disaster. This is irresponsibility. Dawah, the word dawah means opportunity. The other name of the word dawah is opportunity. When somebody asks you a question, they are giving you an opportunity to be enlightened. They're asking you, inform me, educate me. So now if you just answer, oh, we do this because of this. We wear hijab because of this. We wear kufi because of this. And then you stop. Okay, what's the next question? This is not steering a dawah conversation, for crying out loud sake. This is like just what you can call an interview. Interview is a one-way conversation where the interviewer is asking the interviewee question and he just answers or she answers and they stop. Dawah is not an interview. Dawah is a dialogue, conversation, two-way communication. And therefore, the concept of control comes up. So when you strike a conversation, dawah is all striking of a conversation. It could be in a bus, in a plane, in a train, in a car. You're driving with your colleagues from work in the car, and it's a good time. Let's have a conversation. You could be at your cafeteria, at your workplace, having lunch, and you have some other co-workers. You could be in a school, in a college, in a cafeteria, or in a class with your teacher. You find an opportunity. This is conversation. This is dialogue. Now you have to steer the direction of the conversation. So if somebody asks you about hijab, don't just tell them why Muslim women wear hijab. Use the concept or question of hijab to connect them to what? Straw. You got that, my brothers and sisters inside? How am I going to connect straw? And in the straw, basically you have to connect on three main things. Tawheed, Risala, Akhirah. If somebody asks me a question about pork or alcohol, I have to connect that to Tawheed, Risala, Akhirah. Somebody asks me about why you pray Eid like this or why you pray like this, bowing and things. You have to connect it to Tawheed, Risala, Akhirah. Because once you hook them on to all these three things, then Wahi and Sirat al-Mustaqim of the straw becomes easy to deliver. So the steering of the dawah conversation is that whatever question you are asked, you have to connect that to Tawheed, Risala, or Akhirah. For example, if you look at the hijab question, how are we going to connect that to Tawheed, Risala, Akhirah? Let's do this exercise practically right now in this video and you will understand. Somebody asked me why Muslim women wear hijab. I can just say that, oh, they wear because it's an order in the Quran and God said it. Small, brief, concise answer, but it doesn't benefit, doesn't help. Now I need to steer the dawah conversation. All right, you ask a very good question and I will answer you, plus please have some time and listen to me out. So now you start off. Muslim women wear hijab because they believe in one true God, Tawheed. That one true God sent a prophet, Muhammad, peace be upon him, Risalah, messengership, who came to tell us that Muslim women should cover their beauty and have modesty and have haya because they are going to be questioned on the day of judgment, Akhirah, Qiyamah. They're going to be questioned on the day of judgment that did you dress the dress code? Did you dress and behave according to the rules of Allah, according to the guidelines, the SOPs, standard operating procedures that Allah has defined? Allah asked Muslim women to wear the hijab. Why? To cover her modesty and beauty, to not expose herself and things. So you're connecting with Tawheed, and then you say that, look, the Prophet's wives did it. His daughters did it. His family members, the women of his community did it. So it is not something that was just done as a culture, but it was an ordainment, an obligation. So you one question that a person asks, you give them so many information. You're steering the dawah conversation. Why? Because your goal is to develop in the mind and heart of that person the love of Allah, the love of Rasulullah and the fear of Akhirah. Once you have the love of Allah and the love of Rasulullah and the fear of Akhirah, fear why? Fear of questioning, accountability, answering. That will make the person melt. It will melt their heart, melt their mind. It will make their ground conducive to further listening to other aspects of Islam. If you just get stuck up on hijab, this and that, and it's just a debate, a discussion, dialogue going on back and forth, just hijab, it's not going to help or benefit. Use the question of hijab to bring the person to straw. Use the question of hijab to bring the person through straw into the arkanul iman. We believe in all these 6 things. That's why we do hijab. We believe in all these 6 things. That's why we don't eat the pork. We believe in all these 6 things. That's why we're not drinking alcohol. And then they say, yeah, you know what? I also believe in these 6 things. Really? You believe in these 6 things? So a question about hijab brought the person, the recipient, to understand what are the requirements of iman, faith. Because if you fulfill the requirements of iman, forget about the hijab question. This person will start doing the hijab because now they understand everything. Remember what happened in Mecca? The people on the streets of Mecca, when they would listen to Rasulullah, listen to the Sahaba, instantaneously they will say, I believe in all these things. Yes. And it's okay, now all you got to do is just say Shahada. Once they say Shahada, then the practice comes afterwards. Don't tell the person, oh, you first have to, change your behavior, or first you have to change your dress code, then you can become Muslim. No, first become a Muslim, then you can change everything. Don't change everything and then you become Muslim at the end. You don't put the cart before the horse or the horse before the cart. This is how you're doing it. You're putting the horse before the cart and steering the dawah conversation. You control the conversation in your hand. You don't let the person in front of you, the opponent, to drive the conversation. That they may interrupt you, they may interfere in your answer, but you say, wait, let me finish my answer, then I'll come to your question again. Don't worry about it. So this way, when you are speaking, and make sure if there is a 1 hour dawah conversation, make sure you are speaking 60% of the time. I didn't say 50 because it will then give an edge to them and they might steer everything away from you and to themselves. 60% control of a conversation should be in your hand. If you spoke for an hour, that means what? At least 40 minutes, you must be speaking in 20 minutes then. Because then that will drive the message across to them in their mind. And remember one thing always, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam. There will be a lot of tough questions, difficult questions, and they will pound you with these difficult questions because their goal is to irritate you, to make you, provoke you, incite you. Remember always, have your systematic methodology always in mind. Remember the straw. Make sure you are well versed with straw. Sirat al-Mustaqim, Tawheed, Risala, Akhira, Wahi. So that whatever tough question they put to you, you can answer those tough questions in the same. Inshallah, in the next video after this, we will talk about how to answer the tough questions. Which way to answer the questions, whether it's tough question or simple question. The methodology of the deliverance of the message. Jazakallah khair wa salam.